What's up, guys? Welcome back to Gotians Games. Welcome back to another saoif video. And today's video, I wanted to talk about a certain skill that I made a mistake on, sort of. And first things first, I want to just tell you guys that I'm not perfect, and I don't expect you guys to think I am. So if I make a mistake on something, I make a mistake. You know, some of you guys, I've asked you guys before to help me out, correcting me on certain things, like the Alice skill, for example, that had bad translations. So I asked you in the video for the new Alice skill, I asked you in the video that if you guys pulled the Alice skill and you tested it yourself to then let me know exactly what it does, because the translations were very, very bad. So some of you guys did correct me on it, and the next video that I did, I talked about it a little bit more to explain what it did exactly. So, you know, one of the skills that I wanted to talk about today is actually Mismatch Silica. And the reason why I want to talk about it is because I mentioned something on my live stream, which somebody asked me a question about putting Mismatch Silica on Koharu, and I think I misread the question. Because my answer was, oh yeah, you can put it on Koharu and it will do extra damage. But, you know, then I said that it wouldn't do as much on Koharu because it'd be based off of HP. Now, there's two things wrong here. First things first, is the translation or the details on the skill are misleading. Okay, that's first things first. You look at the skill, it says additional damage based on max HP for 10 seconds. Now it says max HP. It doesn't say max HP on the player. It doesn't say max HP on Koharu. It just says max HP. So for me, not testing it on Koharu, I've only used the skill on my main character before. So judging my main, going off of what I knew on the main character and going off of what it says on the buff, leads me to believe that it's based off of whichever character you're using it on, which is not correct. So the way that this works is it's based off of your character's max HP, not Koharu's. And some people might say, oh, but Koharu doesn't have HP. Yes, she does. She actually does have HP. It's just she's immortal. Like, she's immune to everything, but she does have HP. But regardless, this skill is not based off of Koharu's HP if you decide to put it on Koharu. So if Koharu uses it, she doesn't get the buff that goes with the Mismatch Silica. Instead, what happens is your player character gets the buff, which in that case, it is based off of your character's max HP. It's very weird that it obviously doesn't say that if you look at the skill, because you're looking at the skill right now. It obviously doesn't state that. Now, again, I'm not perfect. Knowing from how I used it on my main character, I'm like, and reading this, okay, it's based off of max HP. So if you put it on Koharu, it's gonna be based off of max HP on Koharu, because that's what it says. It says additional damage based on max HP. Well, it works as an extra buff onto your character. So I'm gonna show that off to you guys, so that way you can understand what I mean here. And one of the cool things about it is the fact that it stacks with the Yu-Gi-Oh passive, or Yu-Gi-Oh! It stacks with that passive that is based off of defense and gives you more attack based off of your defense. So first things first, I'm going to use this skill right here so that way you can see my base damage skill. Alright, so 1700 with the Yu-Gi-Oh skill by itself. Now, when Koharu uses Mismatch Silica, you'll see an extra buff up top as soon as she decides to use that. That's the other thing too. Like, you're at the mercy of her using that damn skill. But when she uses it, you get the buff. So whenever she uses it, Koharu, use it, goddammit. Use it. Now, I'm not going to sit here and take out the freaking the boss right now. Okay, so she used it. So you can see right here that it increased my damage output, and now I'm doing 3,000 as opposed to 1,700. So it took the extra damage and added it onto me. Now that's like overly busted. You know, it really is. So when you think about it, all those skills, all of them, because there's a couple of them that do stuff like that, you know, based off of max HP or defense or whatever. All of them can be stacked per se, like if you're using Koharu, which is, it's really cool. Like when you think about it, it is really cool. Not to mention any other buffs that she does that is per herself. It does it on you as well, which is weird. So like I was messing with the other Silica skill that increases your max HP, as you can see right here. So Koharu has that skill, and yeah, it increases my max HP, which then increases the amount of damage that I do when I get the Mismatch Silica buff on me. So it's really interesting the way they have these skills but don't properly explain it. So again, you know, I made that mistake and I apologize for that. You know, it's, again, poor translations lead to misinformation sometimes. So, you know, if you guys got upset about that, I'm sorry. I had this discussion, if you want to call it a discussion, with the guys in the Frontline Discord. Not all of them, just a couple of them. And so, you know, I just wanted to correct my statement because it was a mistake on my part, simply because I never put it on Koharu, because it didn't. I've always ran mace skills on Koharu because mace skills have a lot of support buffs. So that was always the way that I just had her set up. And honestly, I always forget Koharu's even there. Poor Koharu, whatever. I mean, like, I wish that she did more. I'm not saying that she doesn't do a lot, because she literally does do quite a bit. But, again, without, like, screwing around with it, you'd never know. I'm sure somebody stumbled upon it by accident and then, like, told somebody else and whatever. If I would have never made the mistake and said that, you know, about the Mismatch Silica, that it's Koharu can use it, but it'll be based off her HP, then nobody would have corrected me on that, and I would never have known that Koharu doesn't get the buff. First things first, Koharu doesn't get the buff whenever she uses it. Your player character gets the buff, which is, you know, it's cool. That's cool in and of itself. So, you know, once again, my bad, guys. You know, people make mistakes. You know, I don't crucify or get upset that somebody else makes a mistake on something. You know, I correct them nicely and politely and just be like, hey, you know, this is how it actually is. So, you know, if there's anything else where it's like, you know, I make a mistake on something because of poor translations on Bandai's part, or like I don't have all of the proper information at the moment, like when I did the Alice video for the current Alice skill, not for the previous Alice skill. You know, where I asked you guys, I'm like, look, you know, I don't have the skill when it comes out. If you guys do pull the skill, then to let me know, you know, what it does exactly. That way we can have the proper information for it. And you guys did. And so basically, when you have a defensive buff active, it increases the amount of additional damage that those other skills do that do like an extra 200 damage. So instead it doubles that. Where I originally thought, because of translations, I originally thought that it just did double damage on that skill, which we have other skills that do double damage on it. So it wasn't really a surprise to me. Which there's I forgot which mace skill it is, but there's a mace skill that does double damage based off of something else. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I've seen that mace skill. But so that, you know, that Alice skill didn't surprise me if that's what it does, if that's what it did. But that's not what it did. So, you know, that's how, you know, whatever. The other thing too, I just want to make a quick mention. Dark Swordsman Kirito. It does increase your attack, but the amount of damage that it does increase it is not really that much. I did test it, and when I tested it, it was like it added like another 300 damage onto my basic attacks once I got to 100 hits. Okay, once I got to 100 hits, then you would actually see like a big difference. So the differences you would see would be like from hit number 1 to hit number 50, and then hit number 50 to hit 100. That's when you would see the biggest differences. But again, it's still not like that huge of a deal. What makes that skill decently good is the fact that it has that percentage buff for the attack. That's why I like it, and that's, you know, I know a lot of people like it because of that too. You know, as far as like additional damage on other skills with the Dark Swordsman Kirito, it's not really that much. It didn't add too much damage when I did it, or when I tested that skill. You know, in conjunction with other skills. It was mainly just the increased damage on your basic attacks. So, yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. I'm not gonna sit here and like put the whole video of me killing this Cobalt Lord. I just wanted to show the way that Mismatch Silica works. It does work with your main character, like giving an extra buff, as you can see right here. So I go from 17 to then doing 3,000. The higher my HP is, the more damage that I do when Koharu uses Mismatch Silica. So again, you know, good combo if you want to do it. I did test other skills to see if, you know, there were any other skills that kind of did different things that I maybe didn't catch. Like the eugeo shield skill. No, the eugeo shield skill does bonus damage for that skill only. Sorry, hiccups. So I just wanted to correct myself on that. And once again, I apologize if I misinformed anybody on using Mismatch Silica on Koharu. It's actually really good. Gives you a lot more DPS. So yeah, I mean, if you want extra DPS, by all means run it. But, you know, if you have other skills that you would rather put on Koharu that buff you in a more supporting role, then you could do that as well. It's really all up to you guys on that kind of thing. I mean, I'm here just to give you information. You know, I can't make you summon anything. I can't make you use a certain skill setup or anything like that. Like, everybody has different skills. Everybody, you know, has different priorities. I may say skip a banner, but you might like the skills because of the characters or whatever, so you go for them anyways. You know, that's on you guys. That's not on me. So with that, guys, I thank you for watching the video. I thank you for, you know, your continued support. And, you know, like I said, if I make a mistake, just tell me, hey, you know, the skill actually does this, or you missed this. And then, you know, I'll pin the comment or whatever. You know, I admit when I'm wrong for certain things, but I do still stand by, you know, the Dark Swordsman Kirito not doing exactly what you would think it does, because everybody hypes up that skill so much, and it's really not that hype. It's just, it's a good skill, but it's not as hype as everybody thinks it is, and it's not like a must-have skill. But the Mismatch Silica, I like that one. It is a good skill. And yeah, so I will catch you all later. You guys have a great rest of your day, and have a good weekend, because we're coming into the weekend. Actually, it's already the weekend. And peace out, guys.